the grass isn't always greener. Has anybody else struggled with this mindset like I have? For context, I'm 28 years old, I have ADHD. Whether or not that really matters, I'm not really sure, but at least my experience with ADHD is I hyperfixate on something for a while. And then I'm kind of done with that thing. There's been a select few things in my life that I have continually enjoyed and liked and pursued for a long period of time, but other things are not necessarily the case. Whether it be jobs, hobbies, maybe even like relationships, friendships. Sometimes I'm like all in on some of these things, and other times, maybe within a few weeks, I'm kind of off that. And when it comes to the grass maybe being greener elsewhere, I think the thing that I've struggled with the most is in my work. I have a college education, never really knew what I wanted to do with my life in college, and I'll be honest with you, I still don't really know what I want to do when I grow up. But pretty much since I've graduated and had numerous jobs, I've always looked at other jobs in other industries as like, wow, I wonder if that would have been a better industry or job or whatever. I wonder if that would have been easier or better if they, I don't know, deal with the same things that I deal with. And as a 28-year-old, I've had, like I said, a few jobs. One thing that I've really come to realize is that each job or anything that you do that is work related will eventually still be work. It'll be work. Some days fun, hopefully. Some days not so fun. Coworkers annoy you. Certain parts about your job suck. And that's just work. I feel like the more money you make in a job, the more responsibility and stress that comes with it. One of my favorite jobs that I worked after college was a job that I barely even made $40,000. And as almost perfect as that job was, it unfortunately didn't allow me to make ends meet. So I quit and pursued something else that I saw as, I think the grass is going to be greener in this job or in this industry. And it was technically, the grass was technically greener, but also if you want to look at it from a philosophical point of view, the grass was longer, more dense, harder to move through. And therefore, while there was technically more green grass, it was harder to move around and create an environment that I succeeded in. I know that's vague, but let me put it in non-vague terms. This other career that I pursued, and I've pursued a few after that, my quote-unquote, I guess, dream job or best job that I've ever had. While they've all made me more money, they've also not been near as fulfilling and also a lot more stressful. And while the money is great, I wish I could go back and do my quote-unquote dream job again. And I realize from a financial standpoint that is not the case, and I won't be able to do that. But man, I enjoyed that work. I enjoyed that job. And in each job I've had after my quote-unquote dream job, I've always looked at my next job as the grass will be greener here. Like, it'll be better. Like, this will be better. I'll make more money. The job will be either easier, better, and my life will be immensely better for whatever reason. And while I wasn't necessarily wrong each time, what I did come to realize is kind of what I stated earlier. It's still work. And one thing I do want to point out, and I heard this a while back in like a podcast, and it's fundamentally, I think like what we're kind of dealing with in culture today is, let's say you live in a 1-bedroom apartment. Let's say it's really nice. It's a really nice apartment. It's new. They just built it. You move in and you're really excited. For the first month, this apartment is fantastic. It's like I said, it's brand new. It's great. You can afford it, hopefully. And everything's going kind of how you expected. But now you go 3 months down the road and you come home from work and you walk in the front door and all of a sudden it's just home. Not necessarily bad, not necessarily good. You don't stare at the walls and the floor and all the new things anymore. You kind of just move in after a long day of work. You walk through the door, you sit down on your couch, maybe you make some food, you sit in your chair, and it's just the place that you live. It holds a less, value than it originally did. And the same can go for people who have maybe made a lot of money and are very wealthy in their life, and maybe they live in a massive mansion. And at first, that mansion, as we go back to our topic today, looking at that mansion being like, oh, the grass is so much greener. Look how much more space I have. Look how beautiful this home is, the land that it's on, the gated community, whatever. But eventually, besides the fact that that mansion will also just be home, and you'll get used to living there as you did the one-bedroom apartment, along with other things, that mansion will come with more stress, as maybe your job did. Obviously, that mansion is going to come with a lot more maintenance, a lot more money that you're going to have to spend to keep up that place. And you might run into a situation where you look back and you say, maybe that one-bedroom apartment wasn't so bad after all. I think it's all about your perspective on life and really taking an introspective look and say, what are the things that I actually really need in life, and what are the things that are most important to me? So on this topic of the grass, maybe being greener, maybe not. What I've learned in my short 28 years, or really just the past 5 years, is that this new job, this new place to live, these new items you want to buy will maybe make you happy in the short term. But really, as long as you have essentially everything you need, then the extras are just there to almost cure boredom. And eventually those new items will just become your normal items that you interact with every day. So where I want to end is take an introspective look at your life, see what you really need and see what's really important to you. And maybe the grass isn't greener on the other side of the fence. Maybe the grass is a little bit harder to move through, maybe a little bit longer. Maybe there's a lot of other people who are also trying to, eat that grass, if you will. There's a lot more competition. So I don't know if this was a weird philosophical video. If you made it this far, I hope some of that made sense. But where I'm at in my life is I'm very happy, and I know that I'm in the right place. While I still have my goals and I'm looking to move forward, I know that I can't achieve everything all at once, and that it is really the journey that is more important than, I guess, what the outcome will be, where you'll end up. So anyway, more videos to come. Thank you all for watching. See you later.